Hi everyone, welcome back to Gluten Free Habit. Today I'm going to show you how to make this gluten-free cinnamon pecan coffee cake. Coffee cake makes a great dessert any time of day, but it's perfect for a brunch or special breakfast. And it's a really easy dessert to bring along. This coffee cake has a delicious crumbly topping of brown sugar and cinnamon and butter and pecans, and I even put some of the filling in the middle of the cake for extra flavor and moisture. You can find the full recipe for this coffee cake at GlutenFreeHabit.com, where you'll find all of my recipes in one place and easy step-by-step instructions. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope you'll do that now so that you don't miss any of the new recipes. Okay, here are your ingredients. You'll need some white rice flour, brown rice flour, tapioca flour, baking powder, salt, xanthan gum, softened butter, granulated sugar, large eggs, vanilla, milk, and for the topping and filling, you'll also need some brown sugar, cinnamon, and pecans. And this part is optional, but if you'd like to put a drizzle of glaze, you'll also need some powdered sugar. And for baking, you'll need an 8x8 dish and some parchment paper. All right, let's get a few things ready. Set out your milk, eggs, and butter to bring them to room temperature. Now cut a piece of parchment paper to fit your pan so that it hangs over a little bit on two sides, and then you can just grease the other two sides of the pan. The parchment that's hanging over the edge will help you to lift the cake out of the pan later. Chop your pecans to make sure that they're fairly small. And preheat your oven to 350 degrees. All right, let's get started. Okay, let's start by making the filling. To a small bowl, add your brown sugar, softened butter, and cinnamon. Stir that up to make a nice crumbly mixture and make sure that everything is well combined. So this filling goes right through the center of the cake and it adds flavor and moisture to the cake. I didn't add pecans to the filling, but definitely if you're a nut lover, go ahead and add some pecans in here as well. All right, let's make our crumb topping. In a slightly bigger bowl, add your brown sugar, cinnamon, white rice flour, chopped pecans, and at this point, stop and give it a good stir. And now add in your butter. Stir that up till you have a nice crumbly mixture and everything is well combined. So there are literally about 1 million different kinds of toppings that you can put on your coffee cake. And everyone has their own opinion on what that should be like. Should it be more moist, like on a German chocolate cake? Or should it have more of a crumb topping? And this one is definitely more of a crumb topping. Now let's prepare the dry mix. In a large mixing bowl, add in your white rice flour, brown rice flour, tapioca starch, baking powder, salt, and xanthan gum. Whisk that together really well and set it aside. Now for the wet ingredients. To a large bowl, add your softened butter and your granulated sugar. Cream these together until the butter is nice and fluffy and it's a little bit lighter in color. Now add your eggs one at a time, just mixing on low in between each addition. And now add the vanilla and the milk. And mix that up on low speed. Now to this mixture, add in your dry mixture, 1/3 at a time, and just mix on low in between each addition. So there's definitely debate out there about what's the difference between a coffee cake and a crumb cake. Through my research, the most common answer is that a crumb cake is mostly crumb. Sometimes the crumb topping is actually larger than the cake itself. So this recipe is definitely a coffee cake. Unless you want to double or triple the crumb topping, you can turn it into a crumb cake. And when all the dry mix has been added, you can go ahead and increase the speed and keep mixing until the batter is smooth and fluffy. This should take just a couple of minutes. Okay, let's put this all together. Bring over your cake pan and add in half of your batter. I like to spread that out with a small knife. And this, of course, does not have to be perfect because it's not even going to show. Just try to make it level. And then top that with your filling and just spread it around evenly. This middle layer of brown sugar cinnamon really gives the cake a great flavor, and the butter in it adds to the moisture of the cake. So definitely don't skip this step. Now add on the remaining half of your batter. It's best to use a rubber spatula here so you can really scrape everything out. And spread that around. You might want to hold onto the parchment when you do this because the batter is thick and it tends to pull the parchment and it slides around. And now pour on all of your pecan topping and spread that around carefully until it's even. I even press in very, very gently, just slightly as I'm spreading it around because it's a crumbly topping, some of it will fall off. This just helps to make sure that the bottom layer of the topping is adhering to your cake. Now bake that at 350 degrees. And when your cake is done, it will have risen beautifully. Your house will smell amazing, and you'll have a beautiful golden brown topping. Now here's the hard part. You need to set it aside and let it cool. So while your cake is cooling, that gives you the opportunity to make your glaze. So to your powdered sugar, just add a little bit of water and stir. And this glaze is best when it's not too thin. So you want to just add a tiny bit of water as you go until you have a nice thick consistency, but still be able to drizzle it. You should be able to lift up your spoon like this and have it just drizzle off the spoon easily, but it shouldn't be watery. After your coffee cake has cooled for at least 30 minutes, you can go ahead and pick it up with the parchment and carefully move it over to your serving dish. And then with one hand holding the cake, carefully slide out the parchment. And now with a whisk or a spoon, you can drizzle on some of the glaze back and forth like I'm doing here or whatever pattern you like. This part is totally optional, but it's delicious because it's more sugar, and it just makes the cake look extra beautiful. And there you go, gluten-free cinnamon pecan coffee cake. If you found this video helpful, please do me a favor and click the thumbs up down below. And to everyone who's subscribed already, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't yet, I hope you'll do that right now and click the bell to make sure that you're signed up for notifications. Thanks for watching, everyone. I'll see you next time on Gluten Free Habit. Enjoy!